to our new chapter, the United States of America. In the following, we are going to have a look at the USA, and the USA are a beautiful country. You have great mountain ranges in the west, you have huge plains in the central area, and there are the beautiful New England states and the Appalachian Mountains in the east. We want to find out what the country really looks like by doing what is called a profile. So what we do is we take out our large kitchen knife and basically cut through the United States like a huge pie. Okay, looking at the map, you can easily see that the western area is full of high elevations. The central part seems to be somewhere in the mid-range, as you can see from the beige color, whereas the east of the United States seems to be rather low. There is a minor exception here with the mountain range of the Appalachians. Okay, so to get an overview over what the country really looks like, what we want to do is we want to do a profile. Now, what's a profile? A profile means that we cut through the United States at the 40th parallel. A bit of basic knowledge, you might remember that the lines going from east to west are called latitude. The lines going from north to south are called longitude. What we want to do is we want to cut through the United States along the 40th parallel, so that's 40 degrees north of latitude. The other information that we need is we need to know the scale. Now, we want to do our profile in the scale of 1 to 16 millions, because the happy lucky thing is that the atlas map is incidentally in scale of 1 to 16 million, which means we can use distances from west to east one-to-one straight from the map. So the one thing that remains to do is we need to find the different places of elevation. Now, for you to do the profile, you don't need a kitchen knife, obviously. What you need is a pocket calculator and some paper to do your final drawing eventually. You will go along 40 degrees north. Some key elevations are given along the line. As you can see, for example, the city of Reno is close enough to be taken into consideration. There's Provo, which is close enough. There's Long's Peak, which again is close enough, at an altitude of 4,346 meters. Right now, be aware of the fact that scale is measured in 1 to 16 million centimeters. So if you want to calculate the 4,000 meters into centimeters, you need to do some maths. I'm very sorry about that. Now, the easy thing is you just take a starting point, I suggest, in the west. So if you were to take Cap Mendocino right here, then all you have to do is, let's say you want to calculate Long's Peak, which is right over here. Then the way I do it is, it's not quite all the way correct, because, you know, this is a curve and I'm using a straight edge. But if you say, okay, so that's 95 millimeters, you can just use that as a basis. Okay, so here's the plan. We are going to do a profile of the United States along 40 degrees north. We need two pieces of information. We need scale, which is given at 1 to 16 million, and we need something which is called superelevation, and we are going to use the factor 200. I'm going to explain why. Good. How do we calculate altitudes or elevation in scale 1 to 16 million? Well, 1 centimeter in a map is 16 million for real. I know there's a spelling error, which translates into 160,000 meters. Now, if you have that information, then you can calculate that the elevation of 4,346 meters of Long's Peak needs to be divided by 160,000 meters, so you come up with 0.027 meters, which is nothing but 2.7 millimeters. Now, if you wanted to do a profile and the highest altitude is 2.7 millimeters, then you'd agree this is not very impressive. So what you want is you want super elevation. Now, super elevation means you take any real scale value and multiply that one by factor 200, which means our scale 2.7 millimeters become multiplied by the factor 200 to turn into 5.43 centimeters. And that's an impressive value which you can easily put on your profile. And if we wanted to do that, then the highest point, Long's Peak, would translate into something like that, 5.4 centimeters. Now, what you need to do is you need to start at Cap Mendocino and then just go from there, taking all the different altitudes as given in the list, and then make your way all the way through to the east coast. Yeah, and then you're done. And that's what you have to do for week number 1. That's the task. Cool thing in a video is you can press the pause button anytime you like and then have a closer look at what you need to have a look at. This is what your profile should look like eventually. This is taken from an official website doing profiles called mapdevelopers.com. The problem is that it doesn't run anymore, so I couldn't access it. This is old data retrieved from it like 5 years ago maybe. So if you wanted to, you could try to do a profile using online data, maybe a service like Google Earth or something. That's up to you.